Hi. Alright. Hi there. I'm gonna be playing automation because why not? I'm gonna try and do a specific. I have a bunch of little models here. Let's make a. So I want to try something interesting. I want to make a really old car. Old, small, compact, and I want to make it good for economy in the 60s or older. I'll see how low I can go. Let's make a new model here. We'll just try and make something small and simple. Alright, first things first, goodbye years. There we go. Actually have a lot of options. Let's just wait for all of them to load here so I can get a good look at what they want to load. There we go. 1952. Let's look at body types. Let's try going one body type at a time just to see what we can get away with. We want a nice, easy, simple little economy car. Economy, what kind of economy should we go with? I'm thinking something for you. Something not for the family. Wow, these are not okay. Look, these are not very family friendly now, are they? Alright, let's bump up 10 years. See if we can't get something better. Oh, there's a sedan there. Let's look at the coupes. Very large, actually. Whoa, these are getting wild. Look at hatchback. Nope, no hatchbacks. Alright, we might have to go. I think we'll have to go with the sedan. Alright, so sedans are actually pretty chill. Let's see here. What body should we do for sedans? Some nice old cars. Let's see, what's the oldest we got? A 1940. Ooh, I actually like this one here. Let's go back 1946, which is the year that this would probably be produced. I think we're going to be working with this one. Not that big. It's got plenty of room, which is nice. Let's go with it. I don't know what kind of engine this will be. Alright, so let's get started then. Panel material. The material that the body panels are comprised of. So that's the shape of this and what metal this is made out of. We want something cheap and easy enough to buy. So it's 1946, everyone's poor. It's just out of the Great Depression. Lol JK. Just out of World War II, actually. So it's another kind of depression. Alright. So let's look here. What's this? Chassis is the underpinning structure. Okay, a ladder frame. Ladder-shaped structure of hollow steel boxes and tubes provide body itself contribute only a little extra strength. Horse-drawn carts, quick and cheap to construct, require only relatively modest amount of tooling. Ladder frame cars are harder to damage, easier to repair, and excellent, withstanding the abuse of off-roading, towing heavy loads, and police or taxi duty. Heavy weight, poor stiffness against twisting forces, and relative lack of safety in a crash. Alright, let's look at the space frame. Space frame chassis is made of tubular piping, truss-like structure in order to maintain rigidity while using a single curved segment, although the exception might be made in the end. As with the ladder frame chassis, it fits over this underlying structure. So this is the shape of it. Okay, let's look at this. Chassis of this type are not actually space frame trusses. In engineering, a truss structure makes the apparent ability and rigidity of a triangle. Space frame truss goes even further, requiring interlocking tetrahedrons rather than just triangles. Would be much more accurate description, but the auto industry has always referred them as a space frame. The tube frame chassis is much broader. Take the segments. Main benefit of a space frame is stiffness against twisting forces. Compared to the ladder frame, it has higher safety. It weighs a bit less due to the tubes instead of solid segments. Cannot be mass produced. Also has so this is going to be an economy car for everybody. So I think we should go with ladder frame. And let's look. We can Let's look at galvanized steel. This adds protective zinc coating to the frame. Used on thin parts such as panels. Add-on facilities required. Alright, well let's just go with steel then, because I feel like that's expensive. So we can only have front longitudinal. Let's look at that engine type. Places the engine in front with the passenger compartment. So that puts that engine right here, in front. And longitudinal means it goes this way, not this way. Alright, at least I think so. Let's look. Common rear-wheel drive vehicles. Alright. So now we need to choose something. So this is a car for a small family, probably like 2 or 3 people. So we need it to be very comfortable and simple. Looks like I can't. Alright, double wishbone. Let's see what double wishbone is. Suspension uses triangle-shaped pivoting arms. Oh, I see. Top, bottom of the wheel hub at one end, so the chassis at the other. Allowing wheels to move independently of each other, giving major advantages to ride comfort and handling. Racing vehicles. Bonnet lines can be complex to engineer and assemble compared to other designs. So, well, alright, so this is very good, but this is expensive. Alright, in that case, I kind of want a solid axle coil. That has a little bit of sportiness and a little bit of comfort. So let's look at that. Similar to Leaf Spring, both designs have a solid bar for the axle. Oh, so this is just a solid axle. Okay. Oh, with extra. Ooh, so it's just a little bit more complex. Okay. And I think we're going to want probably more semi-trailing. Alright. That's good. I like that. Alright. Now let's go on to making the engine. It's 1946. I'm going to call this the Model T-Bone. There we go. If you don't know, the Model T was one of the first cars. Ford Motor Company, their first car was the Model T. So, probably one of the first cars out there for realsies. So, to hit commercial success. So, this is a family year. It's a family car. So, I think we should go for something small and pippy, something that's very good in the city and fuel efficient. And I don't think in the 40s people cared about fuel emissions though. Alright, so I'm thinking we'd be running with, let's look at the Boxer engine. Actually let's do with an inline. It's a small car, doesn't need to be strong. Let's go with an inline 4. All we have is this? Oh no. Cast iron. Engine block cast from iron. Should commonly used material, cheapest and simplest. It's strong and durable, but on the other hand, is a heavy choice compared with other materials. Alright. I actually have a little tool I use for this, so let me go grab it. It's an engine displacement calculator. Tell me how many liters my engine is. So what we want is something, let's see here. Preferably small, I'd say. So I'd say about 75 by 76, I want to say here. That's a small little engine. Alright. Let me do the calculation here. So 1343 cc is I know, I'm being quiet. That is inches, not millimeters. That is a 1.3 liter. That's small. Let's see here. What kind of things could we do with? So I don't think cast iron's a very strong system. So I think that we should go with something. First off, something that's kind of easy to work with. There we go. This looks like it'll be good. Direct acting OHC. Huh? Ooh, what is that? Hidden valves. Direct acting overhead cam uses a cam pushing directly down upon the intake and exhaust. Oh, so it pushes air in and pulls. Okay. The reciprocating mass of any head type reach higher engine speeds very easily. Produces a very narrow head. Narrow engines to be designed. Disadvantage: you can only ever have 2 valves placed along the center line of the head. So that means that essentially there's a left valve and there's a right valve. The right valve is pushed by this little thing right here, and that'll open up a that'll open up a thing where the gas is pumped into. And then there's another one which will pump in, which is like once the actual so it goes in, compression happens, it combusts, and it pushes the piston downwards. Then that causes the other one to open, pushing all of that gross exploded air out, which has no use or purpose. So I think since these just act directly on the engine, I think we go for something really nice, actually thinking about it. Max RPM friction. I don't want to have higher material costs though. I don't like this. 3. Alright, well, in that case, I think we're going to have to go with that because that's a cheap alternative. That's a nice option for an economy family car. So we have cast iron crankshaft. This shaft little here, that is actually where the pistons connect and they push up and down on and cause this thing to spin, giving power to the engine. See, there's an example of it. Con rods are the connecting rods to the engine. Alright, so I think that what we should do then, because we don't have very much power, can't really go very fast, the RPM, so I don't think we have to deal with anything particularly expensive, so let's just go with cast. Alright. So now we have the pistons. Ooh, this is going to be wild. So let me actually go back here to the actual engine. That was not intentional. Cast iron. That's a strong system, but it's not. Okay. Well then, I think that we're going to be stuck with basic cast all around. Variant capacity. I think that we should have a variant of a little bit higher, a little bit lower. Go. I don't. Lower production units, lower time. Whoa there. I'm just looking around at everything. Bottom end capable of more torque, bottom end capable of higher RPM. Better smoothness, lower weight. I don't think we need to mess around with that. Alright, so let's... More power, better fuel efficiency. I think that we should go with a relatively simple setup. I think 10.5 is enough. Compression ratio refers to the extent which the air-fuel mixture is compressed during the compression stroke. So it essentially runs like... The compression stroke is... After the gas is let in, how hard it pushes it before lighting it. So the harder it's pushed, the bigger the explosion that pushes the piston back down to cause the crank to spin. So, say gas comes in and it pushes up only a little bit of the ways, and then it ignites. It won't push down as hard as if you were to push it way high up there and then ignite it, because all of that gas is ignited here rather than all through here. You know, it explodes much more densely, and then that'll push down the piston even harder, making the thing spin faster. So higher compression generally means more powerful explosion before the gas is released. So we have to figure out how much we can get out of this engine when we use that. With the cam profile. Yep, see, so the camshaft in here dictates when those valves that bring in the gas and air, and what, like when those open and how long they open, and then they also dictate how long the leaving thing is, how long that lasts. So the lower we go, the more fuel efficient. And I feel as though we should run with a little bit of a lower profile. I don't think we need that much quality on this. Of course, we can only run with a naturally aspirated little engine, so let's give it a carbureted. Yeah, ooh. I would like something that's efficient on fuel because we're gonna need it. It's gonna be cheap, but I feel as though we've been really skimping out on a lot. And if we do that too, I think that we should go with... So a carburetor is a fuel system. Carburetors vaporize fuel and mix it with air. Better vaporization and mixture yields better results in cleaner combustion and higher engine efficiency. Carburetors work by restricting the airflow to produce an area of high-speed air. So it essentially shoots a jet of air through gas, and the gas ends up being stuck in the air and turned into a vapor, like a steam. That steam is then pumped into the pistons like we talked about. So if we have a single carburetor, that's not going to push a lot of actual fuel into the thing, but a twin carburetor will do much better. So it'll have more power, as it says maximum power, but the issue is it weighs more. But I think that the little bit of extra price will do us here, and we should work for something reliable, I think. So, alright, let's go for this. So this is the intake. Piping used to supply the throttle or carburetor with... Okay, so the air from the outside that's pumped through all the gas. Okay. We should use a standard carburetor because... Actually... They're all very good, but I think that something such as a family car should be hit with something. There we go. Something standard. And we need it to run fuel type. So alright, so I think that we need to figure out type of fuel. So I'll tell you what the RON system is real quick. So the RON system is they add certain chemicals into gasoline to make it so that, remember how I said that on the upstroke it pushes and compresses the gasoline and air in a little cavity using the piston? Sometimes you can compress it so much that it ignites, right? So higher RON means that the chemical that's put into it will more adequately stop that kind of premature ignition from the raw pressure. So the higher that number, the harder you can compress the actual gasoline before it will just ignite. So a really high leaded engine will be a high RON rating will be able to take a lot of pressure, while very low RON ratings has very low pressure. So I think that for now, because super leaded's expensive, low quality is... Oh, I don't think an engine's going to like driving on that. Especially one like this. It's all cast iron. Iron's not that good, so I think we'll go with regular leaded for now. Here's the fuel mixture. Alright, so here's fuel mixture. So this just dictates how much air there is to fuel. So what it means, so this is, every one is 1 part over. So, like, this is 14.2 over 1. So 14.2 times the air. So if you had 15, 14 of that would be, I don't know, 15 parts, and you had a 14 ratio. It'd be 14 parts air and 1 part, you know, so it's to every 1 part of gas, there's this much air. And I think since we're driving a family little car, so I think we should a little bit of fuel mixture. I would like something that's a little bit, I think 14 is good. So that's mostly air. I don't know how much. There we go. Let's just give it. I don't think this thing's gonna be revving up past 5.5 thousand much. So this ignition timing talks about. So there's a spark that lights off the gas. This shows how close to the compression it hits it. So say, like, you're pushing upwards and you light it early. That's called being retarded. That's a retarded. It lights it earlier than the stroke. But the more advanced it is, the closer to the actual peak it'll ignite it. The reason you would light it earlier is to not put as much damage on the engine because you're not blowing up the gas in this compressed of a space. So when you have low ignition timing, you can have very rich fuel that's mostly fuel, so it burns really hard, and you can have a lot of compression, so you can push it in really close before igniting it. Well, actually, you don't need as much compression for that. With higher ignitions, like timings, you can get more bang for your buck because there's more compression, so it has more pressure to release when it explodes. It has more potential energy. So I think we should be running with something. I feel as though we might want to run something somewhat advanced because I don't feel safe about that. One thing that you tend to happen to is alright, so let's see here. Need something cheap. What, tubular? I think this might be the best option. It takes a while to make, but I don't really mind because it's very cheap. Single with no valves. This is a city car, so we need to have mufflers. I think we'll have a baffled muffler. Should we have another baffled muffler? I don't know. That's what I thought would happen. Usually. Okay. So we need to figure out what's causing that. Engine failed due to knock. Try to reduce the RPM limit. So let's actually go to... Sometimes this works. See? So now we're dealing with... Let's lower the ignition time. Okay. Oh, it's too advanced. Alright. And increase the actual quality of the fuel mixture a little bit. Reducing engine and performance? What? Oh. Alright, well... So we have this knocking, so we have to get rid of that. So knocking is when it explodes prematurely or explodes late and everything goes weird. And valve float is when so the air kind of doesn't work properly. Let's try increasing the exhaust. Nope. Oh, well that fixed my problem altogether. Okay. I don't know if I want... Ah, there we go. So the cam profile is kind of strange. There we go, so we're making 63 foot-pounds of horsepower. The higher the cam profile, I think we actually want something a little bit lower than this. So let's actually just lower the compression a bit so that it works. And let's see how low we can get the actual... I want something that runs very smoothly. And so... something that's fuel efficient though. 3. Preferably with this amount of timing. Alright, well... we have to get rid of this. See, this is the issue with figuring out. So let's see what happens when I put a single... Oh, okay. I think we might have to use superleaded fuel. Superleaded fuel is somewhat expensive. But that's max. Oh my, those emissions are bad. 474. So let's see here. Not very costly to service either. This is a nice car, actually. Alright, well, in that case, we can afford, because the higher rating of this allows us to actually work with the engine a little bit more. We can work at finding ways to make this more fuel efficient. So let's put it down a little bit. We don't need as much power, I don't think, because this is a very family-oriented car. Plus we can increase the compression a bit. Oh, okay. There we go. So we're getting around 50 horsepower out of this thing. And for 1940, that's not bad. Let's see if we can't enrich everything a little bit. Nope. Runs clean, it's too little, okay. And then the exhaust, is it too small? Or is it too big? A little bit too big, okay. I think that we should run... This is not a bad engine. Got a nice little... So, I'll tell you about this now, because I've figured it out so that we're in the green on everything. So this blue is your horsepower. This is a measurement of actual work over time. There's actually a really good video by, I think, Donut Shop or Donut Media. I don't remember what they're called. I'll put a link in the description of this video so you can go watch them. That explains horsepower very well and the difference between horsepower and torque. But so horsepower is a measurement of work over time. And so a horsepower is like a horse can do this much within an hour. So 1 horsepower is this amount of work over this period of time. Foot-pounds of torque is so it's a measurement of how hard the wheels are turning. So say you get a wrench that's 1 foot long and you put it on a bolt. If you grab the end of that and put 1 pound of force on it, that's 1 foot-pound of force. It's 1 pound of force a foot away from the center piece. So that means that at the end of the wheels or at the end of whatever, whatever this measurement means, it produces this force. That essentially, the higher foot-pounds of torque means that it rolls harder. It's harder, you know. It's not. It doesn't do more. It's just more power to the wheels. So good torque. You can see that once they actually start coming aligned, that's when the power kind of starts to dip, which I think that we don't need that much RPM in this kind of engine. I think that'll allow us to actually do a little bit better cam work. There we go. I think that's fuel efficient. I think that's good, actually. So now we're actually having a system that that's a quiet engine, isn't that? That's nice. Very family-friendly engine. I think that we can go a little bit over, but that's because I don't want to. Alright, so let's listen to that at higher revs. I don't mind that, that's good. That's a good rev bar. Alright. So this is a reasonably simple, cute little engine. This isn't going to pull out tons of power or do tons of work. But I think for the year it's in, comparatively, we're doing very well. So now we get to choose the actual body of this little car. I think that we're running something small. Something that's designed for a small family to do a little bit of work, a little bit of stuff together. So I think that we should choose something simple. Something simple. Let's go for this. A 4-door little sedan from the 1940s. Okay. Front tires are narrow for the front tire. Okay. Alright, so now we're starting to get to the actual bodywork. So let's actually shape this. How do we want this to be? I want something that is very gentle and non-assuming. It's a family car. It's small. It's efficient. That is not what I want at all. Okay. Well, let's actually extend this a little bit. We kind of have plenty of room in this boot here. And I don't think we'll have... There. Whoa! What was that? Oh. Oh my. Okay. I think that we're going to be styling something very simple front here. I think that we should have a lot of cabin space because it's going to have kids in it. I think that this has plenty of space in it. It's the era of the future, you know. So let's actually... There we go. The era of the future, you know, so... There we go. Now we have to color it. I think that we should color it with a new custom paint. So let's make one. Alright, so what color would be a good color for a nice new 1940s? I think that a nice dark, not shiny, kind of opaque, flaky blue would be a good idea. Let's see here. Oops. Save, close. That's not that bad, but I feel as though we can do a little bit better. Alright. Let's modify this and just make it a little bit brighter. Make it a little bit less flaky. Now let's try this. Oh, that's okay. There we go. I think we'll be running with that color for now. So now we have to make a nice front end to this. So let's actually go to trimming and see if we can't pull this in a little bit and make this a little bit more for front shape. There we go. Oh, what was that? Okay. I wish there's more options for shaping these cars, honestly. I don't like that. There we go. Alright, so we're making something. Let's get to actually designing the front end of this car. So the front end of this car is likely going to have bound circular lights, and I think that we do that using a pair of these. They're not bad lights, actually. I like these. The only issue is that they float over a lot, so they're not shaped well with the actual chassis of the car. Go, that's a little bit low though. I don't know. Let's look at the other options down below. So let's see here. Let's see what these lights are like. They conform to the actual bonnet. Okay. Well, in that case, I don't think we need very big ones. So what I think we should do, we have smaller underlights and larger overlights. That's a system of lights together in a group. That actually looks really nice. I like that. Plus we can have little indicators. Little shaped indicators probably. I don't know how they'd be shaped though. Let's see, what's a couple of good shapes that I don't know if that's a good shape. Any other options we can do? Oh, I know. We can increase its width and length and just gently rotate it so that it follows underneath. There you go. It's a little blushing car thing. We're making a happy little car. Alright. So now we need a grill to put all that power into. Let's look around. A couple of options. What's this? Very basic little width grill, I think. Let me look at that. Very gentle, actually. I don't know if we like that. Well, I want something that screams family. Something that screams utility and safety. I think safety is one of the most important values in a family car. It's actually not bad. See if we can't increase that a little. Kind of like that. Feel like it could be a little bit lower, considering the fact that the engine is. Oh, I can't even see. Okay. Well, whatever the engine is, I think that'll work. Now, I wonder. What even are these? I have no idea. It has a little mustache. Okay, that's actually kind of cute. I like that. I don't think it needs those, though. I think it should just be something friendly. Alright, let's actually make it a little bit more bouncy. Happy. So I think that we should be able to work with these. That's good. I like that. Rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Wait, flip horizontal. Wait, flip vertical. There we go. Well, now it's not happy. Please center. There we go. Hello? Wonder why it's doing that. Oh well. I don't think it matters. It looks aligned to me. We'll look to the right and see if it looks. That's good. I like that. I'm gonna try and switch these around actually and see what happens. I don't mind that actually. I like that. I think we can work with that. Alright. So that's the front pretty much done. Let's see if we can put anything on it. Do we need any scoops for this carbureted engine? Look what a scoop is. We are not going to need any of those. This is a family car. Alright, so what can we do for these? So we have these little lips that we can use to shape around the car. That looks ugly. I don't like that. Well, honestly, I think we can run with whatever we got. So let's actually go to the back end and start making some work on the back. So we need some taillights. What kind of taillights would be used in a circular little meme car like this? These? No, those conform. We want something that sticks out, pushes. Something that like pops at you. I mean, that really pops at you a lot. Oh my. Alright. I think they would come with a couple of extra sets. Just to make sure. Hello? Okay. What are those? Why? Okay. What are these? Okay, those exist, I guess. A wild setup. Okay. What are these? Never mind. I want something more in here. I would love a bumper bar on this. I could actually make a bumper on the front. Let's see. Front bumper. Do we mind? A very thin front bumper. I think we can have it a little bit wider, a little bit simpler. There we go. I don't know what that undertow is, but I'm going to lift a little bit so I have that. There you go. It has a nice little under top thing, and then we can have a little back bumper too. I think we should have a different kind of back bumper though. What's this? Line it and make it a little bit wider. I think that's good. So now we need our rear number plate. Let's see here. What should we have? 2640. 420. Okay. Lol slushy. Where would it be? Let's locate it at the base of the back plate here. Put a little handle on the back plate here. I think it would be a simple little small. Just so that you can open up the rear plate. Alright. I think that's pretty simple and nice. Okay. Let's get some actual handles in these side doors here. What kind of handles would a old-timey car have? What even are they? Oh, these are those finger handles. I think that something would have a finger handle. I think it'd be a little bit longer. Perhaps a little bit rotated. Fine. Perfect. Oops. What other options are they? Spinner handles, rotators, normal door handles. See what this. It's not really a 1940s door handle, but I don't really mind it. Okay. So now we need mirrors. What's a mirror of the future? Mirror for the people who are conscious of the days ahead of us. I mean, that's pretty good. I don't know about you, but I really enjoy that. I want it to be a little bit bigger. But that looks like a mirror to me. Like something you'd adjust to look around. What kind of badges do we have for this cute little car? Let's see here. I think this car... I think this represents a boar. A little bit. There we go. Any aerial that this thing would have? Oh, it would definitely have one of these. Just poke it out. It'd just be poking out. There you go. Aha! Probably be further up. It'd be... Maybe. I think it might be longer. I don't really know. Well, certainly would be thick. That's no. Can't even make it bigger or smaller. It thickens or thins. Okay, I guess that's fair. Alright. Well, let's look at the wheels. What kind of wheels can this car have? Little thickens. Rounds. I think that this would have a very simple... Yeah, I like that. Now we need to get the exhaust. I think that the exhaust would be running like this. Whoa, excuse me. There we go. Yeah. That's nice. Now let's go for some fuel caps, actually. So we need those too. What? What is this? What are these? I don't even know what those are. What are these? Oh, these are little logos. Okay. So we need a fuel cap. I think that a fuel cap on this would be circular. Of course, but I feel like the actual fuel would go in front. I don't think it would be on the side. This is a front-engine car, actually. I don't know. Maybe we'll put it right here. I think that fits. I'm starting to like this. Okay. So is there anything else we want to add before we go along? I think we've got all the major components. So now it's time to go and actually work on this. So we need to think about what we want to do. So we can have it drive using the rear wheels, or we can have it using 4x4, which I think is 50-50 front and back, which is much heavier and much more expensive. I think we'll go for something simple, rear-wheel drive. We'll have a manual gearbox. Sounds fair. How many gears? So this only has 60 horsepower. I think we'll go with it. Whoa! Ouch. It just crashed. Oof, dude. Oof. Sorry about that. We had a bit of a recording issue. So, let's look at this again. So we can choose the different kind of gears we have. We only have, like, what, 60 horsepower? Let's look at the engine real quick. Variant 9. Yeah, only about 60 horsepower. I think that we should run with something that's simple, something that's easy, something that has good fuel economy. I think that a 3-seat will be good enough. I don't think we're going to be going very fast with only 58 horsepower. Let's lower it a little bit. I think we'll be going around 75 miles an hour. And I think that we should have a little bit of a lower gear spacing. Oh, so I should talk about this. So rear-wheel drive has power in the rear tires. And manual means that I have to manually shift gears, which modulate the engine's power. So say, rather than putting all of the power in one continuous burst as it goes up, rather it'll put a little gear on it that'll make it do more work in less turn. So really low gears put down a lot of power in a small amount of space. So the wheels won't spin. You don't have a high top speed, but the amount of power that the wheels put out is very high. And say like a super high gear like 6th or 7th will have a very low gear ratio, so that means that the gears aren't turning as quickly. So it can go faster, but it doesn't have the same amount of power, right? So it's all about making sure that the right amount of power is distributed to the wheels so that it can continue going. And so that's why we want, the higher spacing means more power is in each of the gears. So say your first gear is longer, so you have more power in your first gear, or otherwise. And the lower it is, the more control you have over that, and the more, I guess simplified it would be. So I want something that's a little bit drivable. And let's see here. Do we want something that can lock the differential? I don't think we care. So differential is, these wheels can turn on their own, right? So a differential locker makes it so that these two wheels, which are connected, they can turn on their own speed, but when you activate the welded differential, they both lock together, so they can only spin together, rather than apart. So I think that for a family car, you're going to be on a road for the most part. Maybe in snowy weather, maybe not. I think that we should have a little bit of manual. Alright. Now we have to go for the wheels. I think that we're going to have cross-ply wheels. These are very small wheels. Simple. I think I like these. And we can talk about the different tires. We can choose all kinds of tires. So we have the chunky off-road, which is very bumpy, very ridgy. Lots of holes and little spots for gravel and dirt to get into so that they can grip in dirty, messy terrain very easily. We have the hard long life, which is very uniform, simply made. This is a very hard compound. So what that means is that the actual strength of these tires is very high, but because it's so high, it's so tough, these tires are so tough, they don't grip the road very well. So these will last you a very long time. They're very drivable and they're very safe, but they're not crazy good. They don't have crazy amounts of grip on the road. They don't have crazy anything really, besides service life. So these are the longest lasting, most efficient tires we have. But I think that we could also run with a medium compound, which is a little bit softer, so it means that it grips the road more, can heat up and grab the road a lot better. It's a lot nicer, I think. There you go. So I like that actually. I think we could run with that for now. I think the rear tires need to be a little bit wider. Just a little. Those are not the rear tires. There we go. I think there's plenty of room for these rear tires. I don't think we're going to have much power to put down on this. So let's increase the tire width a little bit, but also increase the profile. There we go. I think that's nice. We have these slightly wider back tires. This is where all the power is going down, so having wider tires means that there's more grip for the back tires to push with. So that will go with a little bit lower pull. And I think that's important. Higher compound and the low. So let's increase that a little bit actually. Oh. Oh, I understand. The lower these are, the more you can go. Okay. There we go. Alright. There you go. So we have some slightly wider tires now that I've done a little bit of work on these. We don't need as much tire width, though. Oh, wait, no. What's happening? Wait, the wider these tires are, the more they work. Oh, okay. Alright. Then I think we'll run with this. These are some pretty beefy tires. I like these. We'll run with those. Now we have to think about the brakes. And I think these brakes are going to be interesting. So let's talk about the different kind of brakes there actually are. Two different brake designs called cars. Drum brake consists of a metal drum containing 2 friction shoes. So let's see if we can't. So let's. Oh, so it's literally just this little circle here, right around this little thing. Has a little lever that pushes it into the tire. So these brakes will just push and slow down the thing with friction. So I think that we're going to want somewhat smaller brakes on this. It's not very powerful. And I think we should have a lower pad type. So these things are pads that are pushed into the tire. So the tire is actually stronger than the pads themselves, so the pads will start to break down against these tires. So over time they'll fade out and slowly fade away like Marty McFly from Back to the Future. And they'll start to lose power. So I think that we should. So the lower the compound for these, the weaker the compound, the less wear that's put on the tire and the less felt friction, it feels better. So I think that we should go with something a little bit lower. Just because this isn't a very strong car, can't go very fast. Very simple. And let's look at the brake bias. So this means that 60% of the braking force is in front, 39% is in back. So I think that we should put the front a little bit bigger. Back. Alright, so let's lower the quality so it's a little bit cheaper. Off-road skid tray. I think that we don't care. This under tray is this under piece here. So if I put an off-road skid tray, never. Okay. I don't know why I didn't do that. But we can have an off-road. These trays increase downforce, which is a system of air that pushes down on the wheels. So if you're not moving, it doesn't do anything. But if you have super strong wind, they'll have these wings that point downwards that push your car down. Under trays can help with that by putting it underneath the car so that the wind underneath the car can help pull it down. Alright, so I think that we should run with a little. Okay, so cooling airflow. How much air actually gets to the engine through this grill? I think we should lower that a little bit because this engine isn't very hot. The engine isn't very strong. And if we lower it, we can have a little bit better fuel economy, a little bit better otherwise. And I think that we should actually go for a little bit of brake stuff because even if. Oh no. There we go. You can only go about 41. There we go. I think this is the ratio we'll run with this. Alright. Okay, so now we're moving on to the seating. So I think that this is a family car. So a family car should have room for everyone. Or not. Like that we'll have... There we go. I think that's a good system for this. And I think the interior should be a family interior. So what's a good family interior? I think that might be heavy, but we'll have to worm with it. There we go. And the 40s. We don't need something crazy expensive. I don't think we'll have an option. This is a car, it's utility. Let's lower the weight a little bit, just a little bit, so the car can run relatively well. There we go. And we don't have any steering aids. Woo! Wait, what? Oh. Free. Because we don't have any driving aids or anything, otherwise I can lower this all the way. Alright, well now we can talk about the safety. So let's see here. We want some, so there's going to be kids in these cars. There's going to be adults driving their way to work. Or driving down to the park with their kids after World War II because they're baby boomers and they fucked their girlfriends on the way before the war. Now they have to come home to their 6-year-old kids after they shot a bunch of Germans. So I think that we should be running with something nice. Huh. Okay. Okay. 1945. No? Okay. Re. Alright, so we have these track people who really like it. Let's see if we can't figure something better out. Look at the suspension we have. Oh, I see the problem. The springs are very strong. Lower the dampers so that this thing isn't running super hard. So these dampers will dampen the actual, so the weight of the car pushes down. Dampers slow down the rate at which it pushes down and pushes up. So it slows the actual movement of the suspension. So the stronger the dampers, the more force it can absorb. Springs are a very similar system. So we don't actually need that strong of either of these. Because the car doesn't have enough power to actually do a lot with them. Wow, we don't really need any of this, do we? We don't need dampers, huh? Alright. Well, let's actually decrease the rear tires a bit. These are the front. What? What did I do? Oh. Okay, well let's make these a little bit more friendly to the Fam-O-Lam. Really? Too slow? That's strange. Okay, so the rear wheels are a little bit too wide. My lord! Car tends to oversteer. Okay. What happens if we make it to medium pump? All of our problems go away. Alright. Thank you. I'm trying to get this little wheel spin thing down as much as possible. I don't want this thing to start spinning. So let's... There we go. So now I have to work on the brakes. The brakes are a little bit weak. So the front brakes need to be bigger. The front brakes need to be bigger, I say. The front brakes need to be bigger. The front brakes need to be bigger. The front brakes can't get any bigger. Oh no. What? How am I gonna fix this? Oh no. Very front heavy. The brakes can't keep up with the actual... I'm gonna have to increase the diameter of the rims to be able to do more. Okay. My lord. What am I gonna do? Oh no. There's nothing I can do here. I need more front braking power, please. Why? I think it's terminal. I don't think I can do anything about it. Damn. Well, that sucks. Poor thing. Low comfort. How can we increase comfort? Oh. We're starting to actually make it. Okay, so we're getting good fuel availability. So where can we shave a little bit of money? This is a terminal issue. Let's see how much we can shave, because I want to make sure this is a very nice, fun, cheap family car. And if we can make something that's simple, and easy, and good. Family sports making some money. There we go. We're at 90%. All right, let's look at the drivetrain. What if we were to increase this a little bit more? Oh my. Alright, we've made a good family sport car, a good light delivery, family sport, and budget truck. We just made a fun car, apparently. 19.6 miles to the gallon. That's better than a lot of current cars that are out there on the roads right now. Alright. Well, I think we made a good car. The markets. Family. Safety practice. Ooh, an economical we got made a good city car. A little light delivery car. A budget fun car. A little budget track car. It is the absolute opposite of a convertible luxury car, though. We had a nice little car. Oh. Free? I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, let's turn it down all the way to 0 again. Alright. I like this car. So let's look at this car, actually. It can go... I don't know. There we go. So 0 to 100 kilometers, so pretty much 0 to 60 is 16 seconds. It's not that bad. For what it is. I think we made a car. That's not bad. Let's export it to BeamNG now. So this is going to be... I think we should actually rename it. So let's rename it to the... Charlton... What? The Charlton no. Commander ship. No. Okay. I need to actually think of a good name of this. Let's see here. Old family car from the 40s. Boogie van. Here we go. Oh, I can't think of a good name for this. Whatever. I'll just call it the model Trivago. Alright. Let's export it. Alright, we did it. We did it! We made the car! I'll see you in BeamNG, and we can continue here with this new car. Hi there, I'm back in BeamNG now. So, we just uploaded the car here. I'm going to be bringing it around a little test track here, so let's see if I can't do a time trial. So we're going to be bringing around the automation test track, which is the track that's actually brought with automation, the game that we just built the car in. And we're going to be running the... I think we should run the simple racetrack circuit. That's a very nice circuit. We have to run this. We actually need to run this for handling. And let's go grab our little car. Already got a couple other designs. I think you saw them already. So there's Hotel Trivago. And let's put it out on the streets. I'm not a very good driver, but we're gonna see how good we can do in spite of adversity. Let me grab my controller real quick. Where did my controller go? Excuse me. Excuse me. Where are you? Oh well, it's gonna take a second or two to load. I don't really mind. Alright, got my controller. So this car is not going to be very fast. It's going to be fun though. I want to take it around two of the things. I want to take it around the handling test, and I want to take it around the actual course. The only thing I'm really scared about is wheel spin power. Even if you don't have that much power, it's still going to be a little bit too much, you know. So a little bit of importing right now. I wonder what's going on in there. The head of the game. We'll have to see. Eventually. Ooh, there you go. We're in here. Here's the little car. Very interesting to look at. Nice, warm blue. I really wish you could see the interiors of automation cars. That'd be great. Oh well. We're going to be running around a course here. Let's see how well she does. Ooh, slow off the bat. Alright, let's see what we can do with it. Actually, not that bad. Alright, so we have to continue along this course. See how fast we can go around it. The resources given to us. We actually got a little bit of power to her. Holy hell. Okay. Let's try and be a little more careful for the I didn't expect it to have any power at all, considering the low amount of torque and power it actually speed it had. Maybe I should have put wider tires on this. Oh well. Pedal to the metal through here. Try and use as much of the steering as possible. Now we're starting to get to a little bit of a hairy area. Okay, whoa, that, you saw that, right? Oh, that was weird. I wonder why the game locked up there. Oh well. Still making some pretty good progress here. Pin it in pretty nicely. The thing about this car so far that I'm feeling is that really, surprisingly, is very interested in the idea of oversteer. It wants to do a little bit of spinning. It wants to throw the wheel and the back out a little bit. Right now, though, we're opening up the taps, looking into third gear. We're starting to actually put down some speed. Put down a lot of speed, actually. We're hitting 75, 76. We're about to hit 80 miles an hour on this little road, which I didn't think that this little engine could make that. But we're actually doing it. So let's see if she can actually handle blistering speed. Just, oh my, let's get to the dirt here so that we don't die. There we go. Couldn't handle it. The tire's a little bit too thin to be able to handle that level of raw power, raw momentum. So we want to actually break the outside on. So actually post through this. There we go. Nice, nice. We're actually making some progress here. This car's very nice. It's slow, gentle, which is a really nice thing about it. It does a lot of what it wants to do. And you can't really tell it not to be calm unless it does this. Oh, look at that. Look at the way it's wiggling. Tilt the engine. Very putty. But that was kind of a failure on my part. I'm sad about that. That sucked. Had a little bit too much speed going into that chicane. I couldn't recover from it. Oh well, we're gonna start coming to more uphilly sections here, so let's see if I can't put a little bit of work into this. Get something good done. So let's climb around the outside. Try and power, just to get a little more turning radius. And start opening up the tabs here on this short little straight here, see how fast I can go. Or 50 miles an hour. Be able to hit 55 before I need to brake. 60. Alright, braking here so that I can climb the hill effectively. on. There we go. Barely made it. Next turn here is going to actually cut very tight. So I hit that a little bit aggressively. Hit home. Alright, so let's make this next one. I think that this lap will count it. If not, I'll keep going. Brakes are getting a little bit hot though. Alright, so we got another lap. So let's go pretty nimble through here. Just pull through both of them. Continue full throttle. Catch this little bumper here. Going. I want to make sure that I don't add too much power to this turning radius, so I'm very gentle on the steering. Running up to 63 miles per hour, much better than our previous best. Let's pull off the gas to go around that little thing, and then let's see if that little hiccup happens again. The brakes are going. That was a little very wide around the chicane, but I mean not the chicane, the 90-degree turn, little hairpin there. But it is what it is. I think I'm reasonably proud of this car. She's very gentle, very family oriented too, which is nice. I'm not getting much bounce or pushback from this car. It's not hard to drive. It's very drivable and very simple. All the spins and issues I've had have been mostly down to driver error, except for that very high speed situation, but that's on a downhill slope. Probably going way faster than it should have been. So I think that a lot of improvements for lap time. We're already 12 seconds faster. As long as we're very gentle, don't let it have the power it needs to start spinning. Good. You can see it started losing power despite me holding the throttle down as hard as I possibly can. Just can't make that level of speed. Here's where we can start braking. This is where the brakes don't handle it. Okay. That might have been a little bit late actually, but hey, we survived it, so I'm happy about that. Let's see if we're making any improvement. Definitely making a lot of improvement on this lap. Our current lap is a lot faster than this first lap, which was very slow. But let's try braking a little bit earlier to not close enough. Ooh, whoa. Thank goodness for that bumper. That's going to cost me a lot of time, but I don't mind. I think we did a good job, reasonable enough job, saving ourselves from that situation. I don't think there's anything I could have done considering the suspension and the low width of the tires. I'm just going to make it up for the rest of the course. So that's actually pretty good. And we can do a little bit of scenic driving on another part. Alright, good. We're in here. Nice, nice, nice. Now we open up the Taft to see if we can't go fast as the Furious. Get away with whatever we want. I'm going to try something a little bit risky here to save some time. Let's go up this hill a little faster. Something weird about having a single axle on the front, double axle on the back, is that this thing wiggles very strangely. I don't understand why, but it's very gentle. It's very gentle, but it has a strange habit of wiggling. Let's see how fast it goes. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. That's faster than some of my other cars. Let's pause the car. He actually made a pretty good lap there. 3:30. Alright, so let's try something else, actually. This one's going to be a bit different, and I think you've probably seen this one. Let's go... Actually, no, let's go around a small little island on the outskirts of town and see if we can't find something fun to do on one of these roads. This is going to be a little bit longer, but this car shouldn't have too much of a trouble. If we can find some fun stuff to do, definitely, for sure. Looking around, seeing the scenery. So, I hope this car... I might actually have to go crash this car, though. I don't know. Crashing automation cars isn't very exciting. Because they don't have internals, so you can't see big crashes. You can't just smash into something super hard and have a bunch of physics happen. You know? So you can't have stuff like... Can't have that happen to the car. You know? Let's respawn it, and then let's get out our little Slobo Hotel Travago over here. Oh, it's such a nice car. The only issue I have is the suspension's so high. It's a pretty good off-road suspension, though, despite the power. So let's see if we can't find something to get ourselves to. Just like so far. Well, let's just keep going. See what we can find. Little roads here. Very soft roads. Oh, never mind. These are somewhat bumpy. The actual clearance of these roads not very good. Not very well kept road. Let's see if up actually. These are bumpy. Alright, that's fine. Can't go very fast through here due to the engine power, but I don't think that's really a problem. Definitely a good view of these like sides and stuff. Oh, what did I just hit? Oh, did the bumper just save me from something really awful? Oh, it just saved me from a huge rock. Okay. Well, I'm thankful. No, it did not. It looks like the suspension's out. Yep, I'm veering very hard to the right now. I'm gonna try and keep going until this car can't go anymore. When that happens, I'll respawn it. Try and find something to do. As I keep driving, it gets worse. Suspension is continuously taking damage as I try to drive it. I think that the wheels is bent horribly. Let's see if something happened with that. One of the hubcaps is damaged actually. Never mind, I guess the front hubcaps take what they do. Oh no. Looks like we had a bumper bounce and the wheels are not aligned properly. Well, definitely not enough power to go off-road. Well, let's make this the new home point, spawn from here. Going around. Maybe with a little bit more momentum, this thing would be able to do a little bit of work. Oh no. Oh no. Let's try spinning her around instead. Get away with that. There we go. With a warm, naturally aspirated engine like this one, very easy to... So let's try and make it a little bit faster around towards this little hill slide. That little bump there was too much for the engine. Little car. Wheels can spin out. So let's try going around this at a much slower pace. This thing barely has enough power to keep going, let alone, you know, put work into this. Alright. Isn't that bad. Suspension's really putting in a lot of work though. See, definitely putting a lot of work in. Good suspension. So now we're starting to get towards this faster downhill area. I don't know if I should go down there. Let's go towards this little forest spot. I think that might be a lot more scenic and nice to look at. I think it leads up towards the mountainside. Oh, it definitely leads towards that mountainside. I hope we go around it rather than towards it. I wouldn't be able to do that. Looks like we're going through intermixed uphill and downhill, which is nice. I like that. Very simple. Very nice. Ooh, this is actually good. We're above that bridge we were just at. So we're gonna be driving up through like a rock pass. A lot of different little areas to bounce off of. These trees are nice. Love to take the road car into Italy maybe. A little lip divot there. I'd love to see how this car would handle that, but I think it would be able to. Barely handle this dirt road. Let's see. can't go past 23 miles an hour. My other car was bombing it through at crazy speeds. Luckily, this car is pretty light, pretty simple, so power to weight ratio actually isn't that bad. I think it's really worth it to have a car that so like nice, relatively old. Yep, she's starting to have issues with her power. She's too strong for this, or at least her tires are too thin to be able to go off-road. Oop, go downhill or uphill? I want to start trying to go uphill. Here we go, we're starting to get to some problems. Let's try holding in first gear as much as possible, then keeping a low rev, slowly accelerating up this hill, slowly accelerating, no wheel speed. Good. For all of that horizontal speed, got the hill up here. She's having trouble making up these hills. She doesn't have quite enough power put into her to be able to manage these sufficiently. She's starting to run speed and spins. Alright, so we're continuing around to the left turn here. Alright, this is nice. I like this. That's a scary little, that's a climb there. Climb that. My little off-roader can climb that, but honestly, I'm very content with staying on these soft roads. You know, watching this is very nice for drive. It's very simple, soft, very soft. This would be a very good city setting. Just meandering around, at least an old city setting, 40 or yummy. So, oh, we're starting to get down towards the little downhill section. So, if we can't put a little bit of momentum to that. Whoa! Alright, there you go. Gaining speed because she doesn't naturally have her. Alright, now we're going downhill on straight. Let's see if we can't pass 30 miles an hour. It's nice. Maintain it. Nice, we're actually putting a little bit of power down. That was nice. I like that. So now we have to do what BeamNG is all about. Building. Crashing this thing at really goddamn high speed. Well, let's see, what's a good target to smash into? It's over there. Actually, let's go over there. What's that over there? Go exploring a little bit and see what we can find. A little bit faster down the dirt roads. Stay very gentle with the throttle. Don't try and play God. Doing this thing won't be able to do. Go down the little hill flip here. Get back on towards the road, I think that's. Get me road. Let's just climb. It's taking a hard time with the sand, but I feel as though if we just place the throttle down, we'll make it back onto the road eventually. There we go. Let's cross the little bridge here. And I don't feel any suspension damage. Throttle's rolling up. There we go. That's the throttle I've been missing. Oh, that didn't feel good. Oh no. We're actually starting to have a little bit of problems with the suspension. Looks like... Yep, I got hit on the actual wheel, which bent it on the lock differential. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This thing's veering a little bit to the right now. Suspension's not supposed to. Hopefully I can maintain it at a high speed. But I feel as though we might actually be crashing. Probably not at a very high speed, but speed that's respectable for the chassis. I think actually it's not bad at. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Okay. on, get out of the sand, please. Wait a minute. Oh no, we're stuck in sand. Please. Aw, we're stuck. Alright. Well, I think that's gonna be the end of the little video I did here today. Please like and subscribe. This thing's really nice. Very soft, nice little car. I might do a little bit more with this in the future, this idea of family-friendly. Oh god, let's respawn it so I can get a better look at her. Back her out here. There you go, family-oriented living. I like this. I had a lot of fun.